Well, brothers and sisters, it is Wednesday, 4 days until we are back. Lord willing, on the 5th of July, we'll be back in this, I'm in the foyer now, but obviously in this place. We've been looking forward to this very much. We are looking forward to the ongoing, in some ways more regular way that the Lord cares for his own. Remember the beautiful words of Isaiah chapter 40. Comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem. Cry out to her that her warfare is ended, her iniquity is pardoned. She has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins. It's that kind of rejoicing in the gospel of the comfort of the King that we are looking forward to being back here to enjoy in just the next few days. And so we're taking time throughout this week, and on one hand, I want to apologize that we keep being so repetitive, but the fact is I have little confidence that the word is getting out as strongly as it should. We are not, one of our strengths is not our communication infrastructure just yet, and so we're trying to do whatever way we can to get the word out coming this week or so, during this week or so. As we said, this coming Sunday on the 5th of July, we'll have two services, 9:30 and 11 o'clock. And we are hoping that our seniors may come to the earlier service because that'll be the cleaner of the two, in the sense that it will be fully cleaned on Saturday. Iris is going to be doing an extraordinarily deep cleanse of our church on Saturdays. And so the first service, we get the sense there'll probably be a few less people. So you'll have less people around you. And it'll be the cleaner of the services because no one's been in here yet. And so those who are most vulnerable perhaps would consider coming to the 9:30 service. The reality is that we need for you to reserve your seat. That, as harsh as it may sound, you will not be allowed entrance to the building if you've not made a reservation. These are the kind of regulations that our provincial government has given us, and so that's where we're planning to do. The number on the screen, which was wrong on Sunday, and thank you, Ismay, for picking that up. I imagine others of you probably did, but no one calls to church. I mean, I'm telling you, I've been here for 3 years, or may have been a dozen calls to this church line. People call my cell phone and others. And so it's odd to be asking people to call the church phone line, but please do that. This is your reservation line, 416-241-1681. And just call and leave a message, and you will be returned a call with a seat assignment. Okay, your seats will be actually assigned to you based on the number of people coming and the proper grouping. Remember, 24 people is our base. We can only have 2 people in each of the pews, and we can only have every second pew. 12 pews, 24 people with 2 in them. But our number up to 40 means that if there are people who live in the same household, not your family that doesn't live in the same household, not your family that you often visit, not your family that you put in some kind of regular or new bubble. No. The regulations that we have been handed down for churches is people currently living in the same household may sit in the same pew. They don't have to physically distance. So that means from 24, we can go up to 40. We can have another 15, 16 people in there, depending on who registers for which service. So please, call the church, leave who's coming, number of people who are coming, and which of the 2 services that you would like to attend. Catherine Avery, who's been part of the ladies' Bible study here and who's a good friend of a number of the folks at the church here and been around our church for a number of years now, she will be calling you back with a call to confirm your reservation and to give you your seat assignment. And of course, when you come to the church, there's going to be a number of coronavirus health safety regulations that we all must follow. Watch this little short video behind me. There's no sound to it, but just watch this video to see, again, how easily COVID-19 is spread. You can see this picture of the germ, the virus itself. You shake hands, it goes on to the next person's hand, and that person goes off to an airplane in this case. And they sit down on the airplane, as you can see, they eat, they put something in their mouth, and now their body's infected with this. the plane lands, they come down to the new place where they are, and look what happens. Other people are coughing upon each other, and they're attending other airlines, and this thing has just been spread around the world like this. Folks are not covering their mouths. Perhaps they're eating in restaurants or the lunchroom at work. Another person picks up, in this case, a little mug like this, and it's on them. It's on the counter. It's on the hands of the person that picked it up. In this case, they're showing people with little recreation activities. The guy's got his ball, and he goes and takes that ball that's infected, and before you know it, look at all the people around the world who are affected by this. And we're all panicking and freaking out because we're not sure exactly what to do, right? And of course, it's just the kind of thing that could be so easily avoided if we would take the necessary steps to have the proper PPE is a technical term, physical protective equipment, and people, of course, who would wear masks, and we would physically distance, as it's trying to show in this video here. No great big concerts, no big gatherings like this, people staying in their houses on their own, physically distant, not shaking hands, again, not being too close to one another, doing our best not to touch our face with our hands. Again, if we can possibly work from home, we've been doing that and staying home. If we're ill, stay in bed, stay home, wash our hands whenever we have the opportunity, frankly, as much as possible. And so part of these things are just to press home what we already know to be true. When you come to the church, we will ask you from your car to your pew if you please would don a mask. If you don't have a mask, if we require it, we will supply it. That's been our policy here at the church. And so if you don't have one, a mask just like this will be provided for you when you come in. If it's hard for you to wear a mask, understand that as long as you keep it on into the church and to your pew, once you're seated in your pew, you can take it off. So we don't want folks to panic that, you've got to sit there for an hour with that mask on. We'll also have gloves available. If some people feel more comfortable wearing gloves, you'll be offered hand sanitizer on the way in the church. We have a number of sanitizing wipes that will be around the church. There will be spot cleaning in between the services. And again, that hand sanitizer is going to be available. You will be brought to the back door of the church only. There'll be physical distance lines there, and you will see essentially a registration table. You will be registered, ticked off, or confirmed where your seat is. You will be asked 3 screening questions again when you have your reservation made and when you come to the church, if anything has changed. And those questions are essentially, have you had any symptoms of COVID-19? Have you been around anyone with symptoms of COVID-19? And have you been around anyone who's been out of the country in the last 14 days? If any of those things are yes, we ask you to stay home. If you say yes when you come to the door, we'll ask you to go home. And so please pay attention to those things as best we can. Again, that's why we're repeating this so much. But then you'll be escorted to your seat. You'll be brought to your seat, and understand that as long as you're in your seat, you can remove your mask. At the end of the service, we'll be dismissing folks from the back one at a time, and we have to not only leave the building, we have to leave the property. That's just a reality of these times as we're beginning back. A good bit of cleaning is going to be done, as we say, by Iris on Saturdays, and spot cleaned in between the services. And so, a lot of detail. I realize that. But friends, we do want to come back, and we won't want to abuse the privilege that our provincial government has given us, and we don't want to take your safety for granted. We really are seeking to be diligent, and even more diligent as this week goes on, as we get more understanding of things that we can do to keep us safe. Interesting, again, in that beautiful passage in Isaiah chapter 40, verse 21 says, "Do you not know? Do you not hear? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundations of the earth? It is he who sits above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain and spreads them like a tent to dwell in, who brings princes to nothing and makes rulers of the earth as emptiness." The Lord Jesus is the one who is in charge of all of this. It is the Lord Jesus who beckons us as his people to take the opportunity we're given again, even in as much as it's a limited and restricted sense, to come back together on the 5th of July. Hope to see you on Sunday, dear friends. Cheers.